First, starting off with Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster. These started alive as the two separate GameCube games back in the mid-2000s, and for the longest of time, the only way to play them was to track down an actual GameCube and hunt down increasingly expensive copies. But Bandai Namco finally decided to bundle both games together and brought them properly to PC. So now you get the full experience without needing a shelf full of retro hardware. Thank you very much. And the whole combat system is built around magnets, which are basically cards, and I mean that literally. Your weapons, your items, even things like food or a memory a character is holding, they're all represented as cards you slot into a deck, which is unique and fun. Fights play out in real time and you're drawing cards, from this deck, to decide your own move, your own next move, which makes combat feel more like managing a hand than picking spells off the menu, which is unique, it's nice, and yes, it is a genuinely different JRPG. And because you're getting both games in one package, there's like a solid chunk of playtime here too. Get this game, man. I can guarantee it's fun. But where it stumbles is there's gonna be a bit of a learning curve. It's not like your typical action or turn-based JRPG. And the card systems doesn't explain itself brilliantly early on, and I spent a good couple of hours just fumbling through my deck, trying to work out why certain combos work and others didn't. But I think that's also the fun in games like this. You're trying to figure out things, you're trying to know what the game is, and then you're gonna be like overpowered when you master the game after you learn them. It's satisfying. I mean, it's rewarding. So yes, it is worth grabbing if you want something that plays differently to every other JRPG on this list, and this game is always on sale, so get this one on sale. And in number 9, the classic again, Grandia 2 HD Remaster. You know what? If you want to buy the Grandia 1, then go for it, because it connects. So this one is originally a Dreamcast game again from Game Arts. I remember playing this on the PS2, but this HD remaster on Steam is the one worth grabbing. There's a proper widescreen support and none of the awkward upscaling issues, the older ports had, like in the PS2, I mean, of course in the emulator and whatnot. The combat is fun. It is an action turn hybrid, so you've got a visible turn order bar, but you can actually manipulate it, time your attacks right, and you cancel the enemy's move entirely before it goes off, which turns every fight into a bit of like this timing puzzle game instead of just, picking attack and waiting around and yada yada yada. I mean, it's engaging. The writing holds up too. That is why this game was famous back in the day. There's actual comedic timing in the dialogue, which a lot of JRPGs from this era just don't bother with. Characters bounce off each other pretty well, and the party banner is genuinely one of the better parts of the whole experience. But I know the story doesn't really go anywhere unexpected, but obviously it is pretty cool, right? But the journey going towards that ending is super fun. Well, that's pretty much about Grandia 2 HD Remaster. If you want another unique JRPG, this is it. I know this is an oldie, but man, this game is good. Of course, it's gonna be on sale, so get this one on sale. In number 8, it is Indivisible, made by Lab Zero Games, the same studio behind Skullgirls, and honestly it shows the second you boot it up. This is one of the best looking hand-drawn 2D games, and the amount of detail in every character animation is properly impressive for an indie budget game. Combat takes a lot of inspiration from a Valkyrie profile. Each party member's attack is tied to a different face button, and you are managing all of them at once in real time, dodging and countering while juggling multiple characters or rhythms at the same time. But once you get the feel for it, it's generally one of the most satisfying combat system on this whole list. I mean, there's also a massive cast of recruitable characters, each with their own little personal arc woven into the main story. Super cool. And finding them all across the world map is fun. But I have to be honest, here's the shitty part about this game. Lab Zero shut down not long after this release, so a chunk of planned post content and some crossover characters that were teased got cancelled right away. But what you are buying right now is a final product and a complete state of the game. But I think this one is still a very underrated and quite a hidden gem in my opinion. Still absolutely worth playing for the combat and art itself. Just go in knowing this is the whole package and nothing more coming. So yeah, get this one on sale. It is pretty cheap. and you will have a very fun time. Cosmic Star Heroine, the same team behind the Cthulhu saves the world. I don't know how to say it. Cthulhu? Yeah, Cthulhu. So if you've played their other stuff, you already know what you're getting into. Retro, pixel art, presentation with genuinely modern pacing underneath it. There's no random encounters anywhere in this game. Every single fight is placed on purpose by the designer. So no filler, no bullshit, which keeps the whole thing moving at a proper pace from start to finish, which is really good in my opinion. The sci-fi setting doesn't take itself too seriously either. There's a lot of genuinely funny writing in here, and the characters have real personality despite the small sprite scale they are working with. The combat itself layers in some surprisingly deep buff and debuff management too, which keeps the fight interesting even on the later stages of the game. Super cool. Again, the trade-off is the length and the price. I mean, this is a 10 to 12 hour game with pretty simple pixel art to look, and at full asking price, it is so tough to sell. But if you got it cheap on sale, I think this is a super underrated game, and I know you will like this game. And I think this is a great like weekend sized JRPG if you wanna, play something short and not a 40 or 80 hours long JRPG. So I think that is pretty nice. Go get this one on sale. I think this is worth checking out. Number 6, Saga Frontier Remastered. Now, this one is originally from Square Enix, the 1988 game, man. And this game has always had the reputation as one of the more divisive entries in the, Saga Frontier catalog, right? 8 playable protagonists, which is really cool, and each one gives you a legitimately different game to play through, not just a reskinned version of the same story. The free scenario system means the story, the pacing, even some of the core mechanics change depending on who you pick. So replaying with a different character doesn't just mean a different opening cutscene. It means a genuinely different experience from start to finish. Super cool. And of course this game has this thing called the Glimmer system, where your abilities awaken randomly mid-battle instead of through leveling up, rewards experimenting and trying weird stuff rather than just grinding out XP like most JRPGs from this era expect you to do. So the whole premise about this game is like you gotta play the game, not just grind mindlessly. It's really cool, honestly. But a fair warning, this game gives you almost no direction whatsoever. There's like barely any tutorial, no clear objective markers, and yes, you will get lost. I think there's like a standard, in this kind of era, right? Back in the day, you always have to look up some guides. You gotta explore the world more than just playing to get to the objectives, because you need to explore to get to the objective. But if not, then you're gonna get lost. So yeah, you gotta check out some guides, guys. But if you like the old type of, JRPG, like in the PS1 era or in the PS2 era, like figuring out where to go, then yes, I think this is a solid pick. Number 5, it is SMT3 Nocturne HD Remaster. Now I know this is an SMT game, it's not underrated or hidden gem or anything, but it is a good game, and you gotta play it. This remaster finally brings this game properly to PC with a decent visual upgrade over the original one, and of course, all the proper PC settings that it should be, or have, or I don't know. So, the press turn battle system is one of the sharpest turn-based combat systems ever put in a JRPG. It's like the old SMT, right? If you have played Persona, you know it. Hit a weakness, and you get a bonus turns. Get hit yourself, and the enemy gets extra actions. So every single decision in every single fight actually carries this weight, I guess? I don't know how to say it. Demon Fusion lets you build your party exactly how you want it, mixing and matching abilities from dozens of different demons, and the atmosphere throughout is dark, it is oppressive, genuinely unsettling in places, never really lets up from the opening hour to the credits. But what I would flag clearly before you buy this game is this game doesn't care about you. Difficulty spikes are brutal and at points feel properly unfair, and if you're coming into this, after playing Persona and expecting anything close to that level of forgiveness and easiness, yeah, this is not it. You're gonna be in for a shock. I mean, you're gonna probably refund this game. So yes, this isn't a game that eases you gently. You gotta have to learn, you gotta have to strategize more in this turn-based game. but I think that's the, satisfying and rewarding part of a game. With that being said, this game is a must-buy if you like turn-based JRPG, and it goes on sale often, and it kind of priced reasonably when it is on sale. So I think this game is worth buying if it is on sale. So yes, it is a very fun game. Number 4, Tactics Ogre Reborn. This one is a full remastered of the PSP version of the game, which was already considered one of the best tactical JRPGs ever made long before this release. But this version adds full voice acting for the first time in the series, which is, oh my god, really good, alongside a bunch of quality of life fixes that makes replaying it far less of a chore, like, auto battle, yada yada yada. But I do like the auto battle in this game, surprisingly. So the story branches based on decisions you make mid-battle, which is cool in this JRPG space, not just, a set dialogue, and that's pretty much it. So 2 people playing this can end up with genuinely different versions of the political conflict at the center of the plot. The tactical combat itself has real depth too. Class building, terrain positioning, unit facing. So if you stab enemy in the back, you will deal more damage, and vice versa. So yes, all of it actually matters, and the game rewards you for thinking a few turns ahead instead of just brute forcing your way through encounters. What will test your patience early on is the pacing. The opening several hours are super slow. I mean, it gets boring really quick, honestly. So if you buy this game and expecting the tactical combat or the branching narrative to grab you immediately, man, you're gonna refund this game immediately. So push through it, see where it goes, and you're gonna be in for a ride. But I think this one is one of the best tactical JRPGs available right now on PC. I don't know, man. I've been wanting to play more tactical JRPGs, but there's not much. It's only SD Gundam, Persona 5 Tactica, this game, this Gaia, and this Gaia is like going downhill from this Gaia 6. So I think this is one of the better ones, and it always goes on sale for like 50%. So buy this one on sale. It's good. Yeah, I gotta put this one on this list. It is Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. I mean, bundling together 2 Konami classics from the PlayStation 1 era? Man, it got you good. I mean, Suikoden 2 in particular? You cannot beat that JRPG, like, come on. The slow burn betrayal story between 2 childhood friends who end up on opposite sides of war. It's still so good, man. Even when I play this game today, it still hits really good. It is genuinely one of the better written JRPG narratives from the whole console generation. You can recruit all 108 stars of destiny, and watching your base slowly fill out with characters is a satisfying long-term goal that runs the whole length of the game. And the army battle system layers actual strategy on top of the usual turn-based combat most JRPGs take without ever trying anything different. This game, the combat and everything is a real piece of art. But the one real weak point this bundle has is basically just the first game, right? It's noticeably rougher than the sequel, simpler systems, a less interesting story, and honestly, it exists mostly to set up the events of Suikoden 2 rather than stand entirely on its own. I mean, play it for the context, not because it's a damn masterpiece on its own, but goddamn, when you get to that Suikoden 2, whoo! You're gonna be addicted to this game. That's how good this game is. Buy it. This is no exception. This is an essential for anyone who calls themselves a JRPG fan, and it's still fairly new, so don't expect big discounts just yet. But if you can get it cheap, can get it on sale, definitely get this one, man. I don't know, man. I'm super excited right now just talking about this game. So yes, Suikoden 1 and 2, go get it. It's a classic JRPG, it's a masterpiece, and I don't think anyone can beat this game, so go get this one. And in number 2, it has to be Chrono Cross The Radical Dreamers Edition. Now I know this game has a mixed review on Steam, but it's like the technical issues of this game, not the game itself. So, I mean, if you can get this game running, it's good. So the combat is where this game does something I haven't seen anywhere else. Every character runs on a stamina bar that starts each fight at 7 points, and every action costs stamina. A light jab costs 1 point, a heavy hit costs 3 points, then you've got elements which work like a deck of spell cards you build outside of battle. And using one drains your entire stamina bar in one go, so you're constantly weighing whether to chip away with cheap attacks or blow your whole turn on a big spell. On top of that, there's a field effect running in the corner of the screen that tracks the last 3 elements cast, and it powers up spells that match its color while weakening the ones that don't. So you are not just picking your strongest attack, you are reading all the enemies, tracking all the elements in the battlefield turn by turn, and I'll be honest, the gameplay here is fun and properly unique. I don't think I've ever played another JRPG that makes basic resource management feel this tense. And there's no traditional leveling either. Your stats only go up after boss fights, which keeps regular encounters quick instead of running into a grind. The annoying part of this game is that Square Enix stripped out the original English voice acting for these remasters, and the longtime fans are still salty about it, even me. Like, even when I played this game and I know that it got removed, I'm mad, I'm salty. But content-wise, there's over 40 recruitable party members here, which is an absurd amount for a single JRPG, and the soundtrack is generally one of the best in the entire genre's history. The story about parallel worlds and characters discovering versions of themselves that made different choices is still one of the more ambitious narratives Square has ever put out. But it holds up remarkably well today, even with the parallel world bullshit. So yes, buy this one on sale. It is incredible for a JRPG, and I know you will like it if you are a JRPG fan. And in number 1, it is Live Alive. Man, I fucking love this game. So, we gotta talk about combat first, right? Combat runs on this 7x7 grid, and every character and enemy has their own charge gauge that fills up as you move around or take actions, so movement costs you something. Cross too much of the grid in one turn and you'll be handing the enemy 2 or 3 actions in a row before you get to move again, which turns basic positioning into this, constant risk calculation. So every attack also hits a specific pattern on the grid. Some only hit in a straight line, some only hit diagonally. I know it's like your basic tactics, right? Some cover the whole cluster of tiles, so you are lining up where your character and the enemy actually stand before you commit to anything. There's no MP or resource limit on abilities either. You can spam your favorite attack the entire fight if you want, which makes the combat feel less like managing a spreadsheet of cooldowns, which makes the combat very, I don't know how to say it, chaotic, other than just thinking about what to do, or resource management, this and that. I mean, it's fun, right? And I do think this is one of the most underrated combat systems in this genre. It is simple, but it is hard to master. It's something like that. And not to mention, every one of the 8 chapters bends this same system into a completely different shape depending on who you are playing as. The whole structure is built around 8 completely separate stories set across wildly different time periods, and every single one plays with a different genre on top of the shared combat system. One chapter is basically a stealth game where you can avoid fighting almost entirely. Another teaches you fighting game style inputs. One turns you a horror survival segment completely out of nowhere. I mean, come on man, this game is just so unique and fun. Yoko Shimomura's soundtrack is also stacked in this game. I mean, come on. This game has good OSTs, man. But honestly, because it is chopped up into short standalone stories, a couple of chapters are noticeably weaker than the rest, and pacing kinda dips hard in 1 or 2 chapters, right? But it's just that. I mean, this one is just a nitpick on top of a very, very good game. And it goes on sale again. So, I think Live Alive is very, very worth playing. Go get this one cheap if you can, and you will have a very fun time playing your JRPG. And I don't care, I say Live Alive.